Bill Keller, the world's leading internet evangelist and founder of liveprayer.com, with over 2.4 million subscribers worldwide reading the daily devotional. He has written every morning for 13 years on the issues of the day from a biblical worldview. Says that despite being blamed for President Obama's being reelected because of the nearly 2.2 million who pledged to write in the name of Jesus for president, the real loser of the election Tuesday is the United States and the Christian church that compromised biblical truth for support of a member of a satanic cult. End of quote. That, I don't know what news agency.
This is not a news agency. This is his own little.
Oh, this is him?
His own little press release.
That is a serious run-on sentence.
Yes, it is.
If I may speak to his writer there.
I think it's him.
But I disagree with this approach. I think to write in Jesus on a presidential ballot is if it isn't, it's close to taking the Lord's name in vain. Because,
absolutely.
Do you agree with that?
Absolutely, because he can't be elected, so you're using his name as a gimmick to try to make a point, and that's using the Lord's name in vain. I think that's clear.
So just don't write anything in. Don't vote if you don't want to.
Write your own name in.
Write your own name in. But don't use the name of Jesus to write it on a presidential ballot in a gimmicky way.
Right.
As you said, Ed, don't believe that. Hey, we've talked about this ad nauseum. You know, I believe, as David Jeremiah does and others, that a Christian can vote for a non-Christian in a secular government race for office. That is allowable. The Bible does not tell us we have to vote for believers. It doesn't even say vote.
Right.
The Bible doesn't even mention the word vote. I mean, it's not even a concept, quite frankly.
And Martin Luther, the founder, basically, the initiator of the Protestant Reformation, said, "I would rather be ruled by a wise Turk than a foolish Christian." And, of course, the Turks were, the Muslims that controlled much of the Turkey and the Middle East.
All right, let's go to David in Jacksonville, Florida. Hi, David.
How's it going?
All right, my friend.
Actually, there's two little things I'd like to address. I've been a listener for a few weeks. I'm a truck driver, and I had been considering a career move from a company driver to an owner-operator, but I was waiting for the election, and unfortunately, it turned out the way it did. So now I'm going to have to reconsider because we're going to have to wait to see what happens with the fuel prices in the economy, which affects the ability to make money as an owner-operator.
And Obamacare.
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. But the thing is, all these, it seems to me like there's a personal religious attack and a personal middle-class attack by this government, by who is in charge right now, whether it be Obama, just the whole administration in general. And I have not been a Christian my whole life. I grew up in church, my family, but by the grace of God and through years and years of family prayer and me doing my own thing, I was finally brought back to the Lord. And now I'm an avid defender of the Lord and Jesus Christ. And I am there. The only thing I can figure is could be a blessing in disguise as far as our unity as Christian people, because times are going to get harder for the Christians. So my uncle's a pastor, and he told me, he says, well, he likes this, the way these things are turning out. And I asked him why. He said, well, now we're going to get to see who the true Christians and true believers of Jesus are, because those are the people who are going to stand up for the rights of Christians and Christian beliefs, no matter what the consequences are.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I have to agree with that.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't wish persecution on anybody. And I know you're not either, David. I hear some Christians say, "I'll bring the persecution on. We need it. It'll make us stronger." Well, that principle may be true, but let me tell you something. That persecution is painful. Ask Christians in China if they'd rather have freedom or persecution.
Right.
I think they'd rather have freedom. It's just that when you have that freedom, you don't need to take it for granted. And you don't need to sit back on the sideline and not defend it. And unfortunately, that's what's happened in our country, I think. But you know, the nature of human beings is that when everything's fine, you get fat and lazy and comfortable. That's that's the way we are, and then you're not eternally diligent, as they say. Thanks, David.